Indian squad. Let me get this set up. There we go. How are we doing? Is that all right? I'll do, won't it? I'll do. A bit washed out. No way, that's too much. There you go. That'll do. How y'all doing, peeps? So, ask me anything. This is, as I promised, Pips, as I promised, today I'm going to be doing another sort of question and answers. It was a bit of fun yesterday. I did it on the phone networking site, and I got to say, good response. Love that, good positive response. Now I'm quite prepared to take any questions, no matter how difficult they are. If you want to be clever, you want to try wrong foot me, hit me with them. I'm going to answer these questions here that I've got here. I'm going to answer these questions that I've got already put on the thread. So, let's see. Hello, fella. I've not seen you for a long time. Good to see you, friend. Okay. So, view comments. All right, Edward, why is Trump so awesome? I'm going to ask you a question as well. I've got one question. Right. In fact, let me ask you that question. In fact, let me get the audience up, then I'm going to ask that question. All right. So Edward's here, over in Australia. Why is Trump so awesome, and why is it great for the UK to never return to the EU? So I think that disruptive leadership is what's awesome. I think that I'm a disruptor. I go into a marketplace and I do things that are slightly different there, and everyone says, "Oh, you can't do that." And then look, X amount of years on, you can do that. It's just the way it's always been. And people don't like change. If you think about any divorce that has ever happened in life, it's rarely is it a positive experience. But you look at anyone who's had a divorce, when you come out the other side of it, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, you actually sort of thank God I left that prick. And it's the best thing that ever happened, and you've got a new life, and you've learnt from that. I think it's time. That we've called it on with the EU. It is time to take back control of the UK. And actually, it's a bit like I say, I run my businesses there, and having a third party trying to get involved in it doesn't make any sense. So I think in terms of is Trump awesome or not, I think he's disruptive. I think that's a positive thing. Disruption is positive. It creates change. I think the world that we're heading into is a different sort of world. When I was a kid, my boys, my children, they don't go out like I did as a kid. Used to go out, on bikes and what have you. And we used to go in woods, and the kids don't do that anymore. They're on Snapchat and so forth. So the world is changing. The world that we once knew. Nowadays, one click, stuff comes to you. You don't go to the local butcher and have a chat there. And so the whole world is changing. It's going to require a new set of rules. And I think that whether Trump's awesome or not, Ed, I think that what he's doing is disruptive and causing a nice change of play. And it's requiring more thinking, modern day thinking, to counter some of his stuff. Sam, what's the best way for you to start an online business and getting recognised? Body online transformations without having to be consumed by good stuff, Facebook posts, ads, videos, and generally spending every second on Facebook when I actually believe we spend too much time already. Great question, Sam. Now, there's a guy, and I don't even know his name, but I've just started following him on Facebook, and he is hilarious. Just hilarious. Now, he's got a personality and he's got a charisma, the likes of which, I'll put him up against me. And he's into weight loss and training and the likes. And he's fundamentally different. And this is what you've got to be. You've got to be fundamentally different. There is no point in you competing in a world where, that bodybuilding world is really competitive. So it's who's got the biggest biceps, who's got the biggest back, who's got the leanest, the lowest body content. So if you've got to find your niche to compete on. See me, I'm not the most wealthiest entrepreneur out there. I'm not, right? By a country mile. I don't profess to be. What I consider myself to be at the top of my game with is being the happiest, most content entrepreneur on the scene. Now, no one, subjective, but no one, I don't believe, can take me out on that basis. So what you've got to do, you've got to find what your niche is. You've got to find specifically how you stand out, right? So when I first started out, I just posted a minute ago, used to walk around the pizza box, used to walk around the trade show with the pizza box. What? Pizza box? You know, people go, who's this fucking lunatic? And what that allowed me to do, that allowed me to get attention. Get attention for free. So you're going to have to do that. But like I say, there is no point in you competing in that online business world in terms of videos unless you've got a big team and a big budget. So you're going to have to find your way there how to do that. I can never pronounce the surname, but our Angel, she's over in Spain there. She's massive over in Forever Living, the multi-level marketing business there. She's number 1, 2 or 3 in the world globally. Whatever, she's amazing. What is the one daily activity you think a small business owner should be doing this year above all else? Let me explain something about me. When I first started out, I had no reputation, right? I had no reputation. Nobody knew who I was. I had no assets. Assets being business, photographs of me speaking on stages, no books, none of this sort of stuff, none of these books, none of that. I had no credibility. And I also had no experience. So if you just break that down, RACE, R-A-C-E, reputation, assets, credibility, and experience. Now, having spoken for over 2,000 times professionally, I now have a reputation in my world, in the small business world. And in fact, in the business world, I've got a reputation on a scale of 1 to 10 in my field. It's a 9 out of 10. In terms of my assets in my field, photographs, videos, assets, 9 out of 10. Credibility, I've got some testimonials from some amazing companies and I've worked with some amazing companies, so that's a 9 out of 10. My experience, having spoke over 2,000 times in public, that's a 9 out of 10. So my RACE score, R-A-C-E, is massive. That is what every single business owner should be focused on this year, is improving your RACE score. And it's something that I teach, improving your RACE score, because that's transferable. No matter where I go in the world, that reputation, assets, credibility, and experience is transferable. So rather than this whole, Facebook likes and we need to do this, that, and the other, and SEO, you invest in you. Reputation, assets, credibility, and experience. That's the thing that's gonna carry you. Oh, hello, G. That's the thing that's gonna carry you and be transferable this year, next year, and you building it. So you're building it. So if you think about my reputation 5 years ago, it was lower than it once was, than it is now. My assets were lower. So by moving that up, I can then just keep building on that and building on that and building on that. And I guarantee that I know that I am still going to be with me at the next 5 years. So that's what I'd focus on there. Tom, Daddy or Chips? My dad was an interesting one. Don't lock me in a coal shed, Dad. No, Daddy or Chips. My dad, let me explain something about my father. My dad left when I was 6 months old, and I really never had my relationship with my dad, my real dad, wasn't great. He was all right. He was functional. He was a alpha male, testosterone-led alpha male, and he taught me quite a lot of things. How to be a testosterone-led alpha male, but he also got lots of things wrong for me. I remember I had a fight when I was 8 years old, and I got on top of this guy, and I beat him up. A guy called Simon Wilkinson. And I went home to my stepfather, and I said to him, I've just had a fight, and I was vitriolic. And my stepdad said to me, that isn't anything to be proud of. If I'd have gone home to my real father, he would have patted me on the back and said, I hope you give him plenty, son. Now, that is a crucial, one of these things that I teach, this whole thing about these forks in the road, where I would have been a different person if my dad would have been on the scene, I think, than the one that I am now. So in answer to Daddy or Chips, Daddy. However, big fan of chips. Tony Garcia, has Bitcoin hit $20,000 yet? Asking for a friend. That kind of pissed me off, that whole Bitcoin thing, in that you've got experts. And bear in mind, an expert is just someone who's having a guess, right? That's what an expert is, okay? If you've got your guess wrong, guess again. An expert is someone who's just guessing. Let me be quite clear about that. And I've seen a lot of people over the course of this last 14 years or 13 years before networking who have come to me and said, I'm an expert. They're just making it up. In the same way I'm just making it up. But the difference is I back up what I say. Now, when an expert says to me that Bitcoin is going to be $20,000 they wouldn't be surprised, and there were several experts on my timeline telling me they wouldn't be surprised if Bitcoin was $20,000, and I'm going, I don't see it, guys. I don't understand Bitcoin. I don't need to see a short video. That's not the world I'm in, and neither are you. People don't give a shit about blockchain technology. It is a fucking myth. The reason that people got involved in Bitcoin is because they wanted to make loads of money. It was nothing to do with the technology. Let me be quite clear there. And anyone who pretends that that's why they got into Bitcoin is talking out of their ass. So, Bitcoin, has it hit $20,000? No. May it do? It may well do. In the same way that if you go to a roulette table and you put £2,000 on a number 36 or whatever it is, and you spin it, it may come up. But it's unlikely. Do not invest money into something that you can't afford. Sorry, only invest money if you can afford to lose it. I always say that. Only invest money if you can afford to lose it. So Maria, Brexit, you know, it's a mess. Of course it's a mess. It's gonna be a mess. I'll give you an example of how it's a mess. Go on to question time. There's 4 panelists there, or 5 panelists, all with polar opposite views. It all goes off. You've got an audience that is split. Invariably. The fact that we even got to Brexit, the fact that we even got to a vote, says that there's been lots of disharmony and people pissed off for a long time. The fact that you even got to a vote. So therefore, you know, you look at this thing. So therefore, the key to any kind of problem, right? The key to any kind of problem is to not let it fester. It's to not let it get to that stage. Because what people end up doing in life, I refer to it as a small spider when I speak. You know, each of the corners of the house that I was living in when we first moved, this house actually, there was a small spider in each of the corners. And I said to the wife, do you want me to get them out? She said, oh, sorry, I don't mind small spiders. Small spiders grow into big hairy ones. Right, Sammy? Right, small spiders grow into big hairy ones. And what we end up doing in life is we're scared of taking a small spider out. So consequently, it grows into a big one. That is why Brexit is a mess. Because it wasn't dealt with in the first round. It's been allowed to fester, and that's what's caused the uneasiness. And that's what's caused the disharmony in the UK. Phil Sims, what's the one thing you don't want to achieve this year? The one thing you don't want to achieve this year? I don't want to be rushing. I've stopped rushing now. I've stopped rushing. There is no fire anymore for me in terms of any. I'm going to move as fast. I'll explain what I've got going on this year, because I've got some special stuff happening as in January. So I'm not talking 6 months away. I'm talking within the next 28 days. I've got 3 things that are happening big, and I'll get to it in a second. So what I don't want to achieve this year is I don't want to rush. And I tell you something, it's a wonderful position to be that minded, where I'm not rushing and I am cool as a cucumber. And my friend James Boardman, sniper, Royal Marine Commando sniper, he taught me something. Take your time, get the shot. There's no point in rattling stuff off and missing. You know, aim down that barrel. Get your breath right. Count yourself down. Put all your focus into one thing and then boom. That's what I'm doing. So no rushing. That's what I don't want to do. Why is my wife's Golf firing on 3 cylinders? As John McClare asked, is that a euphemism? Dougie Brimson, author, and actually a Hollywood film screenwriter there. Dougie Brimson, I don't know if you've seen the film Green Street. Dougie wrote the screenplay for that. Christine Neal, how do you stay positive, motivated and positive in business when things don't go your way? I'll tell you how I do it, because it is not about money. As soon as it's about money, pound, shilling and pence, as soon as it's about that, that's when the problems start forming. Or they certainly did for me. Is because you're doing it for stuff. Once you start doing it as I do to make a positive difference in all that I do, commercial break, my Now What Club, private members club. If you are interested in this on a daily basis, check out nowwhatclub.rocks. But if you look at that whole thing there, it's about my business really is there to make a positive difference. When it makes a positive difference to my audience and to my members, it then makes a positive difference to me. That's how I flipped it. I flipped it that way. So by doing that, I stay motivated, because it's not about me. It's not about money. If it's about money, no good. Punch in the mouth. Get up, money. Punch in the mouth. Get up, money. Punch in the mouth. No. You couldn't do it. But my family, my kids, keep punching me in the mouth all day long. I'll keep getting up. So that's what I've done, and I train people to plumb their thinking into that, so that actually you remain positive, that you've got some purpose that is beyond money. So if you're doing it because you want a flash car or you want a house, not enough. Now don't get, these things are not big enough drivers, and I've managed to plumb my thinking to make me bulletproof, so that even when it goes bad, and it has been bad, I find that resolve to keep going. The simple way when things don't go your way is this. Understand this, that an expert is someone that has made all the mistakes in a particular niche field. Think about it. So in order for me to be a motivational speaker or to speak professionally, I've made loads of mistakes, and I learn from every single one of them. You know, I've learned from every single one of them, dealing with nerves, whatever it be. Same goes for business, same goes for networking, same goes for book writing. I've made all the mistakes, so don't have to. So by making the mistakes, it makes you an expert. I've made the mistakes. That's what you've got to do. So in order, when you say, when things don't go your way, the only way you're going to become an expert in your field is by making mistakes. You've got to make them. So don't be like disheartened and go, oh, you know what, I made another mistake here, I'm shit at business. Nah. What have you learned from it? If you had your time again, how would you handle it different? That is where people go wrong. I nearly quit 11 times before networking. 11. And actually, think about it. It's that whole piece where I didn't quit, right? In the first 9 years of networking, it's 13 in February the 16th. First 9 years, I wanted to quit 11 times. 11 times. In the last 4 years, I've not wanted to quit once. Think about that. But at any of those 1 to 9 times, I could have gone. And that is why, you when things don't go your way, you learn. Okay. What time are you live, Christina Neal? Now, okay, where's the best place to... Great question. Where's the best place to invest your money? In yourself. Go back down to what I said. Reputation, assets, credibility, and experience. I have a transferable CV. The question that I asked before, right? The question that I said, I've got one question for you. The question I'm gonna ask you is this: what do you know about me? Okay, and I want you to respond. What do you know about me? Be honest, right? What do you know? Just whack it down there. This is going to answer that question where you should invest your money. You should invest your money in you, right? Now, watch yourself, because there's frigging personal development coaches out there that will get all your money off you and tell you that they'll create a, give you a millionaire mindset, right? Listen, this is what I'm trying to say to you. You invest your money in you, not frigging Bitcoin, where really it's a binary 1 or a 0. Do I sell or do I keep? That's it. That's the only thing. You've got no impact over frigging, what do you call it? Over Bitcoin. Right? You've got no impact. So invest in things that you do have impact on. Will you be watching Star Wars Episode 9? I think that's a 9. Is it a 9? Yes. Yes. The answer to the question, Stephen, yes. Certainly not with the aplomb that I was once excited about Star Wars. I feel that as a brand, that somewhere along the way, somebody's taken a really wrong move with it. I'm hoping a return to form, which we did have that with The Force Awakens. That was awesome. Then that next one, The Last Jedi, I'm just devastated. So, Mac Malunga, if you had to start a business from scratch, which industry would you enter? So if everything went kaput today, what would I do? I think it's an interesting one, because I'm actually starting something. Let me get into something right now. I am starting something, so I'm gonna let you into. I said that there's several things going on, January and so forth. I'm launching on a national level, Cards on the Table. I don't know what the URL is. Cardsonthetable.biz. I'm sure somebody will put it up in a second. I'm as excited as Cards on the Table as I was excited before networking back in 2006. I have seen a massive, massive gap in a market which everyone would say was saturated. I have seen a absolute massive gap as wide as the one when I saw with 4 Networking could slot into the Chamber, FSB, and everyone said it was a closed shop. I have seen something. That same vision is back. Cards on the Table launches, and we're actually looking at a business opportunity and bringing lots of people in. And if you are interested, link below, blah, 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 and get all the paper. Launching, I think, February. Our first one over in Scotland, Somerset. I'm going to have these Cards on the Table groups all around the UK. And Cards on the Table, thank you, Pippa. Cards on the Table is a concept that will blow your fucking head off. You know, I look at this whole thing, and what we end up doing in life and in business is we end up telling ourselves the reason we can't succeed is this, this, and this. And actually, it is fuck all to do with this, this, and this. It's actually the thing behind the thing behind the thing behind the thing. And that's what Cards on the Table does. It gets rid of that bullshit you're telling yourself. It is a system that I have had in my brain since 2003. Before 4 Networking, that I wanted, and I've always had this and not been able to shift it. And we've run 2 sessions on the quiet without going loud in it. We've run 2 sellout sessions, and groundbreaking, truly groundbreaking. So Cards on the Table will be coming real soon, and we're actively looking for people around the UK to help out. And it is a sensible business opportunity, like genuinely a way really for anyone to piggyback on my brand, my reputation, and also help themselves. It is. I'm as excited, like I say, about Cards on the Table as I was before Networking back in 2006. So watch out for that one. So that's what I'd do if I had to enter into that. What's it like, Adrian, to feel only half a man now you've had your balls chopped off? So I've had a vasectomy, and it was moderately uncomfortable, okay, as in having a local anaesthetic put in your ball bag, your gonads, was one of those where I felt sick. To be honest, it's fine. Still full of testosterone, so that's good. What are your top tips on outsourcing, Chris Dawes? Well, let me tell you something about outsourcing. There's a danger zone here. Is that, remember what I said before, that an expert is someone who is guessing. An expert is someone who's sharing a guess. Watch outsourcing. Watch it. I built my business up on outsourcing, but what I will say is there's a lot of people out there that say they're going to do and they don't. And it's a really disappointing, because you'd never really know. You never really know that until after you've spent your money. And so my view on outsourcing is to let someone tell you how great they are, and then start small. You know, conversation, 100 quid, 200 quid, 500 quid, whatever. But start small and let them prove in honeymoon period, rather than going big. Yeah, we can do a Facebook campaign. It's going to cost you 10 grand, and what it'll do is get you loads of leads, or you can do a PR, and we'll get you on television. And whoa, really? Check, boom. No. Go small on outsourcing. Mac, you're an early advocate of Twitter. How much time has it gotten as a social media platform? My interest of Twitter dropped off instantly the minute I got a blue tick, ironically. I was seeing it all kind of just being disparate, and it's very difficult nowadays. And you understand the difficulty with Twitter and with Facebook and the likes is that they have to make money. There are lots of staff. They've got to make money. So therefore, they're encouraging advertising and the like. I dropped £500 on Twitter advertising by accident, I might add. By accident. I meant to do 50 quid, and I was in bed, and I think I had a Nital, and I put and I woke up the next day. In fact, if you go onto my Twitter account at Brad Burton, have a look at the linked the top post, whatever it's called, the linked, or the what's it called? Pinned. The pinned post. Have a look at that. It's got 35,000 views. Well, let me tell you something. When I went to bed that night, I think it had 2,000. I woke up with 35,000 views. That was all bought and paid for. 500 quid by accident. I woke up at 420 quid going, 4 o'clock in the morning. So I cancelled that. You know what? This game, look, I'm Brad Burton, the UK's #1 motivational business speaker. 4 books, 4 networking, speak all over the show. Dog's barking. Let me go and close that in a second if I need to. And yet, let me close this. One sec. You know, with all my clout and all my access around the UK and so forth, it's not that easy. People will tell you that you can go on some frigging Infusionsoft and you can set it all up and automation. You can sell all your expertise, and people will be queuing up, and you spend lots of money on all this sort of stuff, setting it all up. You end up with a grand opening, and 3 months later you end up with a grand closing. I'm telling you, people, the way that I go about doing business, it's not palatable, and what I mean by that is people don't go, oh, this is really exciting, but it works. So you might as well start on the process with someone like me, right, now, and I'm saying it's going to take you 12 months, rather than you turning around and saying somebody said they can do it in 12 weeks, and in 12 weeks' time, you're still scratching your fucking head, and the difference is you've unloaded all your money, and your money that you've invested and your self-belief has ebbed away. Whereas someone like me, all I'll ever be with you is honest. All I'll ever be with you is honest. Honest, honest, honest. And actually, I will tell you, if I don't believe you're going to make it, I will tell you. If you are interested in this kind of stuff, check out nowwhatclub.rocks. It's my private members club, $29.99 a month. It is going up to 39 quid, January the 31st on the month. We've got 200 members and launching group 3. So if you are interested, don't mess about, get stuck in now, because it is going up. And grandfather rights stick around for anyone who's already paid the 29 quid, so that's cool. Okay. Great question from Jenny Legger. Where would you most like to go on holiday this year? I'm doing it. I'm off to California. I'm off to California. I'm off to on a cruise. I'm off to New York. That is like 18 days, and I've got all these things. It's just the most perfect holidays that I've got now, and I'm very fortunate. I'm very fortunate to be in a position to be able to do this. Like, really, I'd never take anything for granted. I don't take health for granted. I used to take everything for granted. I don't take anything for granted anymore. Health, finances, my life, my family, relationships, you. I don't take anything for granted. And I'm so lucky, genuinely so lucky to be, you know, I'm not religious, but I feel blessed. I feel blessed that my life has allowed me to do this as a working class lad, to be able to go to New York and San Diego and on a cruise and mental. So which 5 people would you invite to dinner and why? I'll give you some celebrities rather than individual people, because that would be unfair. Tony Blair, big fan of Tony Blair. Massive, no it won't, Dan, it'll stay as it is. Big fan of Tony Blair. Tony Blair was, and probably still is, my most influential idol. He changed something in me. I was unemployed, long-term unemployed for 2 years. Mad depressive, and then Tony Blair got in 97, and within 9 days I'd got a job, and it was that whole thing can only get better, the euphoria and actually belief that you can be better, and it kind of impacted on me to go, young about, you can have euphoria, and euphoria won't fix everything, but it'll move you on. If you've got 2 people, and 2 people are of the same levels of competency and intelligence and so forth, and one's enthusiastic and one's miserable and got a face like a slapped ass, well, guess what? The one who's enthusiastic is going to win every single time, and that's what it needs to be, that enthusiasm. So Tony Blair lit that within me, that enthusiasm. So the depressed, the guy who'd come back from getting shot up, so Tony Blair, I would bring to think. Obama, I thought was a fabulous change maker. Never really managed, I don't believe, to realise his full potential. I think he could have been ballsier, but he played it as safe, as progressive as I believe he could. Who else? There was a guy, Robert J. Lumsden, a book called 20 Steps to Success. I'm going to just find it now. I need to find it. Let me have a look. I can't get on it. It's not working. Here we go. Right. Robert J. Lumsden. So this is an author that wrote a book. When I got... there you go. 23 Steps to Achievement, the book's called. Right. And so I got shot at in 1995, and my world went into tailspin. It was horrible. Like, 21-year-old happy-go-lucky guy, and all of a sudden I was fearful of my life, that my life was over, and it sent me on a journey that ended up with me being down here. And the only thing that I had was that copy when I was homeless, effectively, without the front cover of that book. And I don't know where I got it from. Robert J. Lumsden's 23 Steps to Achievement. And I read that book, and it gave me hope. I'm not religious. It's not a religious book. It's very 1978. You know, your wife should prepare your meal for, you know, it's all that sort of shit. But you know, that for all the outdated stuff, there was stuff in that really changed me, and I can't help but think that has impacted as to who I am, you know, 20 years ago. So Robert J. Lumsden, he, thank you. I sent a private detective to find him, right? I sent a private detective to thank him for him, for him keeping me going. He's gone, long gone. But you see, that's the point. So, you know, I'm not going to keep on with that one. Tony Blair, Robert J. Lumsden, Obama, and I can't be arsed thinking about anyone else on that one. Well, what's your favourite arcade game? Great question. My favourite arcade game, if I had to choose one, there's two. Let me give you the two games. Astro Blaster. Astro Blaster was the most amazing game ever. 1982. And I used to go with my family to Rill. And I was a kid, and there was a golden era of arcades that people who are not into computer games won't recognise it, but it was just so wonderfully innocent, that this brave new world of this electronics, the noises, the sounds, So Astro Blaster, and the other one was Speed Rumbler. Speed Rumbler was 1986, Capcom, I think it was. I was 13, and just, yeah, like a original Grand Theft Auto, so that was it. What's your worst habit? My worst habit, I think, is I am a binger. I've always been a binger, whether it was back in the day, drugs, women, drinking, partying. Everything was always binge to excess. And then, you know, then you kind of tick that box. I'm still a binger. My binges are a lot more benign now. They're a lot more benign. So binges such as computer games, such as eating. So my worst habits have been dissipated over the years. Over the years, I've got rid of my bad habits, and it's been one of those things where I don't believe as an individual, you know, anything that we ever do is, if you're not happy, it's not success. I don't care how much money you've got. If you're not happy fundamentally, it's not success. And by getting to a level where you're content and you're happy, that's when you find your success. I see too many people come at it from the other way. They think by having money and having stuff will make them happy. Let me tell you something. Having money and access to, you know, stuff and not being happy is the road to ruin. My mentor, Ian Dixon, I don't know if he's actually on, but I think his name popped up. Ian Dixon said something to me, and it's a very smart, profound man. And actually, he must be in order to be in my corner. But he said, what we end up doing is we end up confusing fun with happy. We end up confusing fun with happy. So when you're not happy, but you've got a load of money, you do things like lap dancing, or you go and buy champagne, or you go and buy a car, or whatever. And for that short time, you feel happy. And then it dissipates, and then you're back to where you are. And the only way that you can find that, so what you've got to do is that you've got to find that internal happiness. And this is what I teach people, and I do it on purpose. Now, you know, look at me. I'm not a hippie or any way of form. I'm just a working class lad who, you know, but yet I found a way through. I have found a way through that any normal person can be the best that they can be. So that's my worst habit. How would you summarise my life in 5 words? Contradictory, high energy, risky, fun, generous. What's my favourite meal? Chicken madras. And I'll tell you something, it saddens me. I've travelled the UK. I've travelled the UK, up and down the UK, and they are, you know, a chicken madras is just not a chicken madras everywhere. It's just not. And the greatest curry I ever had was the first year that Pippa started. Pippa and I were on the road for 5 days before networking, doing the founders tour, I think it was, for any 10 or 11 or whatever it was. And we stumbled across this wonderful, it's in the Midlands, East Midlands, this most wonderful curry house. And just, yeah. So chicken madras, but like I say, it saddens me. I say, oh, I'd like a chicken madras, please. And you go, pfft. And you have another place and it's like mind-blowing. So chicken madras. When was the last time you cried with laughter and what caused it? Oh, there was something the other day. Oh, I'll tell you something. I don't know if I should repeat this. No, I can't repeat it. I can't repeat it. Pippa and I were on a message. I can't repeat it. So it was like literally Christmas time. Hilarious. Which retailer will be next casualty of the high street? I do believe game. I think that the games industry is dead. I think 80% of them games now are being downloaded. I just need to reverse up, by the way, my arcade games, favourite arcade games. Gary's on here. It's got to be Mr. Do. I missed that one. It was off my radar. Mr. Do is one of my certainly top 3 games. Yeah, Halfords, as John's pointed out there, or game. I think game might be going. I've just had the figures that 80% of computer games, new computer games, are downloaded now, so people are no longer going to the shops. I think it's a very difficult industry, Dawn, what marketing did you use to grow for networking? I used Guile. I used Enthusiasm. I used what I call it is like isometric warfare. If you look at what Al Qaeda did with the Americans, you know, you got all this amazing technology and everything and big things, and they managed to create mayhem. September 11th. I looked at a similar kind of vibe really with what I did with you know, business. Is that I went into a space there, which was really very formal. Hello, and what do you do? Very interesting. You know, I went into that sort of space, and then all of a sudden, I've come into this space and I've been Brad, and it's like, whoa, this guy's a little bit off his head, and people underestimated me, and not only did they underestimate me, they treated me like a schmuck, and that's cool. That was cool because whilst they was doing that, I was running rings around them, and I started phone networking over in the southwest, Somerset, and I went first year 11 groups, second year 60 groups, third year 120 groups, and then we kind of went all the way around the M25 and then bang into London. And people would start in London really, and then but in London you've got more expensive plots and blah blah blah. So what marketing did I use? I had no budgets. Dawn. So the only way that I could do it was by force of personality. It's about turning the volume up on who I was rather than turning the volume down, which is what society had told me I needed to do. That actually, in order for me to get on in life, is I needed to not be me. I needed to be a sort of watered down vanilla version of me. And that is why at 31 years old, I stayed exactly being that man, the nerdy man, because I never engaged who I was. If you are interested in more of this kind of stuff, Now What Live comes to Aston Villa Football Club January 31st. 6 amazing speakers, keynoters including Gary Turner, he's the MD of Xero. We use Xero for networking, and also for my Burton Limited, Xero, thousands of customers across the UK. He's got an amazing story, Courage Under Fire. We've got Jamie Moore, former European boxing champion. He's now a cornerman at the world level. And he's got some amazing stories as well. And we're also joined by Darren Stanton, the human lie detector, former police officer who now, well, you'll see him on TV and everything. So he can understand how you lie, so you can see micro movements and stuff like that. And he can point out when people are lying. He's going to be there along with me. It's a whole day of high energy, really focused on what's really important. Thank you. So, Al Price. When you were days away from bankruptcy and your head was shot, how did you, or who saved the company? Right. So, I had no option in that I extrapolated it out. And I thought, if this goes kaput now for networking, because of the nature of my approach, I would have been a laughingstock on the UK. Everyone knew me. for the sake of this conversation. Everyone knew me, you know, and my enemies, those people who had wound up or those people that I defeated on the way through, would have been having a fucking field day. And somewhere along the way, I went, well, okay, that can't happen. Then I looked at my family, and then I started, thinking, you know what? I need to do it for them. Terry Cooper, I owed it to him. I owed it to the thousands of Phone Networking members. I owed it to the hundreds of Phone Networking team. And that was it. And I went, you know what? Gum shield in. I got these tattoos. I burnt the bridges. I burnt the bridges to say, you know what? It's on. And it just shows you that in life and in business, there's always a whole lot more of you left when at the point when you think you can't go on. And that digging deep and that resilience is what we do with the Now What Clubbers. Is that I taught them through. The best way to get out of a minefield is by following someone who's got out of a minefield, right? And this is what I'm trying to say, is that we're not, let me be quite clear, right? There'll be people on these websites, ClickFunnels, oh, you can make a 7-figure laptop lifestyle, and people are shelling out 10 grand based on some nice shiny videos, some lovely long copy. And then when they spend the 10 grand and 3 months later, they're 10 grand lighter and they're not getting a 6 month and they've borrowed that money, they're embarrassed. And I've encountered a lot of these people over the years that are embarrassed and they don't want to tell anyone. And I am going up against them this year. Not in any over going up against them, but just by doing it better and cheaper. Better and cheaper, because people in this whole personal development world believe, oh, it's so expensive, it must work. Yeah, it's £10,000 for a VIP platinum ticket. Oh, right, there's a reason it's that expensive. Yeah, there's a reason that it's that expensive, because you spend 3.5 grand of your money to get you to buy the fucking ticket. So I'm doing it the other way. I'm bringing the price right down. I'm proving the point. I am proving the point. When I started Phone Networking, there was 2 schools of thought. There was Phone Networking and there was the established BNIs and the like. Right? So, you know, BNIs and the Phone Networking, like almost left and right wing, effectively. That's how it's going to be. There's going to be 2 schools of thought in the personal development world over the course of the next 18 months. And there's going to be the Brad School, the honest, realistic, getting the best out anyone can be. And there's going to be the bullshit that is going to be selling the dream. That for the vast majority of people who spend their money on that are not going to get it. And I'm telling you, look at my track record. Look at my track record. Don't think that it's just some guy who's just saying it. Look at my track record of disrupting markets and seeing stuff when everyone told me it was a closed shop. Networking, you can't get in there. Boom, wide open. 250 groups across the UK. You can't call a book, get off your ass. Why not? Highest rated business book. But you can't be a motivational speaker. You look like a drug dealer. Clients, JCB, Bentley, the list goes on and on. I'm telling you, watch what happens. Now, I'm going to keep going on to this here. I think if there's any more questions here, by the way, I'm on here now. So, who saved the company? A combination of friends, specifically me, Terry Cooper, and Steph Thomas. Steph Thomas was an absolute fucking lieutenant who, and I know how much it took it out of him. He actually propped me up. It's almost like, I don't know what Star Trek or whatever it was, where someone gives you their energy and they end up going like Avatar. Steph did that. Steph Thomas, and I don't know if he's on here, Steph Thomas did that. He did that for me. He kind of gave me his energy so that I could fight the fight. But there's always there was a moment, and there was a moment in McDonald's, 6 o'clock in the morning, 6:30 in the morning. Steph did that to me. He gave me his energy. He gave me his energy when I had nothing left. Smart man. And actually, I love him to pieces. Hence the reason I'd do anything for him. Did he ever get a response from ZZ? No, I didn't. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. A great example of how you can get everything wrong. It was disgusting. So ZZ is completely, you know, I'll go to ZZ around the UK, but Taunton ZZ's fucking finished. Now what? What next, Petrina? So, now what? What next? Well, card on the table, launches properly, I don't know the dates, February. Business opportunity, I intend to have 10 group leaders effectively, and it's such a generous business opportunity. I'm smart enough to understand that actually, in the nicest possible way, this isn't about money, it's about growth. So early doors, if you are interested in becoming a group leader, it's not the right word, not even got that far with it. But if you are interested genuinely in aligning yourself with me and what I believe is going to be the next big thing in the UK, then you should get hold of Pippa about that one, and she'll tell you a little bit more about it. And you can work it alongside your current business as well, and it will support and see. I've looked at this like cleverly and gone, okay. When I came up with the concept of full networking, I said to myself, what does the member need? Not what do I need or what Lamborghini. What does the member need? So how have I got to build it around the member? Same situation with cards on the table. Thanks, Pips. Same situation about cards on the table. I've built it from a punter's perspective and also the business, whatever it is. So I'll let you into a secret. Somerset's launched on the quiet. It's now launching properly in February. And then Scotland is launching in February also. And the intent is to get 10 or 12, and we've got a training day, all that sort of stuff. Boom. Pippa is the one who handles that. So what next? I'll just press replay thing on this, update on this. So what next for me? Well, I've got 2 books that I'm working on at the moment. And we went through, Pippa and I, Pippa's my right-hand lady, my work wife. We went through it, and we've decided that it doesn't make sense for me to do one-to-one mentoring anymore. We just don't. It doesn't make any sense anymore. So my one-to-one mentoring is finished. And we actually went through the other day going, no, 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 yes, yes, yes. So the focus, going back to me, is I've been guilty in the past of just swinging, right? And I was good at it. Now we have got focus. And when you've got a Brad who is focused, proper focused, unstoppable. Back in the day, I was missing the machine going, and I hit a lot of targets. Right now, I'm conserving my energy, and I'm making certain that when I pull the trigger, something's going down. So now what? I've got 2 books this year, a task book, which is geared up, pretty much ready to roll. And I'm in 2 minds whether to do it or not, because I've moved away. I'm doing corporate training now. Corporate training, Andy, that'd be awesome. I'd be interested in that. Corporate training in terms of teaching teams how to present. So that's what we're going to be doing. And also working with top execs, how to present and this kind of stuff. That's that. Plus we're majoring on speaking this year. Lots of gigs, lots of inquiries coming through. So remember, when I first started out, I was dismissed. Everyone dismissed me, said, oh, yeah, everyone dismissed me. And actually, now, no one's dismissing me. Hi, honey. Tip here. 1 second, people. I've got a tips. Come here. Come here. 1 second, stay there. Tip here, come. What daddy got? Come here. Come here. Run off. She run off. I wanted to show you the tippy there. Never mind. Right, she run off. So people were dismissing me. They're not dismissing me now. So I promise you, right, cards on the table is gonna be the one that everyone tries to copy. And the difference is this. You're never going to be the market leader, copy the market leader. You cannot copy innovation, right? This up here, this innovation works because it's headed up by me, right? If that makes sense. Because these ideas are based on everything, not somebody can go and copy it. There you go. Full networking. Somebody years ago, I remember at a trade show, somebody came up to me and said, oh, I've got this idea that I want to have a chat with you about, but I need you to sign an NDA, non-disclosure agreement. And I went, my life's okay with that. Well, I need you to sign it because you might go and run off with the idea. I went, grabbed over the leaflet, full networking leaflet. I said, there you go. I said, tells you the format, tells you how to do it, tells you everything. I can even send you the script. You can go and start 5 networking off if you like. I said, don't ask me to sign a fucking NDA because I ain't going to do it. My life's okay. I don't need to hear it. Let me tell you something. In all my life, I have never had anyone share an idea with me, NDA or otherwise, I won't sign them, right? That has been so groundbreaking. I go, oh, fuck me. God, what, you managed to get free energy? Amazing. So anyway, these people, bullshit. So People can copy a format. This is the thing, they can copy a format. Go and copy a format, it's a piece of piss. But it needs more than an idea. It needs that. When I started out with Full Networking, I had three things: ideas, vision, and belief. It's about belief. It is about belief. And I am telling you right now, I'm almost go feral. I'm like a frigging werewolf when I get that enthusiastic about something. And I'm racked with belief. Cards on the table, I am telling you right now, is going to be the one this year. Everyone goes, oh my God, it's going to do what I believe. Mikey, how you doing, star? I assume, Mike, I have no idea. I don't remember the name, but I assume that you and I used to go to school together, Mike. Big up the Pope John Paul II massive. So yeah, cards on the table. That's next. Okay. So, have we got any more questions? I don't know if they have. If not, I'm going to shoot off. Listen, if you are interested in continuing this journey with me, my private members club, Now What Club, is going up a tenner in January 31st. And the reason behind it is two things. One, we want to do nice stuff. We want to do some nice stuff, member boxes and this, that, and the other, and that's got to come from somewhere. And also, I want to throttle its growth, slow it down, ironically. If you are interested between now and, well, whatever, do get into, give it a punt, give it a go. And if I'm either one, a bullshitter, at which point it's cost you 30 quid and you can go, that was shit. Or two, maybe, just maybe, this whole thing that I'm doing should be 10 times more price. Well, I know there's other private members or mentoring group bullshit that is 10 times more expensive than this. And I know people who are in there that go, Brad, what you're doing is fucking 10 times better than theirs. Right? I'm telling you, you got to understand this. I am here to make a positive difference. Right? I've got everything from a financial thing, apart from the I-8, which I'm saving up for. Right? I've got everything that I want. Like, really, I've got everything that I want. So my intent now is to make other people get what they want. And that gives me joy. And that's what it's about. Hence the reason that I am doing this Now What Club at a price point, which I swear I could charge probably, without breaking a sweat, £197 a month. Without breaking a sweat. And I won't have people arguing over it. It's 30 quid a month. This is about, understand how I do things. It is about this. It is about this whole thing about creating a network over a network over a network. And if you think about what Full Networking is about, Full Networking, I'm not involved in the day-to-day anymore, but they're doing that there and doing a great job, Mikey, Jay and the team. Full Networking. Then you throw a Now What network over there. Then you throw a Cards on the Table network over there. People, never underestimate the Brad Start. I'm telling you. And I'm doing it from a benign heart. I am doing it from a benign heart because I've seen too many fucking charlatans and I'm going to put them out of fucking business. We're going to put them out of business. We're going to put them out of business. Not by going after them and running them down, but by doing it 10 times better, 10 times cheaper. Why? Because we don't need the money in the nicest possible way. That's not the business. The business is thousands, tens of thousands of users. That's the business, not fleecing 100, which seems to be the model within the personal development world. Disgusting. So, if there's no more questions, I'm going to go. One final thing. God, sound like Steve Jobs. Final thing. On January the 31st, we launched an app. An app which has cost us, for the sake of this conversation, over £10,000. Let me just share something with you. I read something the other day that said, with religion falling over, people's mental health has been eroded. We no longer go out anymore. We hide behind computers. We don't go to the shop. We don't bump into the next door neighbour anymore. We lock our doors and that's it. Community has fell away. That's why Full Networking works with social animals and actually just interacting with people, real people. There's something nice about that, and old school. This app that we've got, the Now What Club app, and it's only available to members, is intended to help you on a day-to-day basis drive yourself, drive your business, and support other people and connect. Until you see it, you're not going to understand it. But no one has done it like this. I swear to you. I swear to you. I swear to you. I swear to you. It is one of those ones that's going to go boom. Everyone's fucking head's going to be blown off. And once again, everyone's going to try and copy it. But you can't copy the market leader, right? Because you're going to be one step behind, because as soon as I put it out there, everyone's going to want to copy it. But the problem is this. The problem is this. People are going to be doing it to make money. What we're doing it for is to make reach and to make a difference. That is the difference. So anyone coming into the space, right? You know, no one ever remembers a silver medalist. No one ever remembers a silver medalist. I'm telling you, first mover advantage. I have seen something. I have seen something that no one else has seen. I swear, I've seen something no one else has seen. Now, either, once again, I'm talking out my arse, at which point, come January the 31st, you'll find out. Or maybe, just maybe, it's the first stage of a project that changes everything, that allows and brings back community to people, that community feel that we all lack, that we all need to belong. You know, the whole thing about now what is about living longer, living happier, loving living. I'm serious. I am so happy with life. So happy with life. Could I make more money? Yeah. Could I give a fuck? No. What a great position to be in. Do you know what I mean? I mean, genuinely, and let's not pretend for a second here that I'm somehow not driven, or that somewhere along the way, you know, I'm money adverse. Am I bollocks? But when it falls down the pecking order about what's really important, then all of a sudden that you see that what's really important and what's really valuable isn't money. It's Crosby's just logged on. It's freedom, having enough money and time and health to do what the fuck you want. Well, you know what I want to do? I want to change the UK. I want to change the world positively. And it all starts with Now What Club. Now What, cards on the table, Now What app. Think about what I'm doing. Now What app, Now What Club, cards on the table, for networking, fucking network. So think about a network. I'm on computer now with a laptop. It's connected. It's web enabled. It's enabled to other computers. People, that is the power. That is the power. That anything on a national level, I know someone and I can make something happen. Welcome to the Now What Club, people. All right, if you are interested, NWC for life. I'm going to go get a tattoo there. And I need to talk with you. I want to see if we can get you on that podcast and doing podcast. Oh, forgot that. Launching the podcast at the end of the month. But if you are interested, do check out nowwhatclub.rocks. Also, nowwhat.biz. We have that event January 31st, this end of this month. Amazing speakers, handpicked by myself, and trust me, fucking mind-blowing. The event's called Now What Live, and it's called Courage Under Fire. Courage Under Fire, and you're going to see how people who are under fire can deal with adversity, and also not only lessons that from their perspective, but how they can help you. People, get yourself on nowwhat.biz. Check out, talk to Pippa if you do want in. Start today, and then tomorrow we start on the task at 9 a.m. for the next 5 days and get you tuned in. 5 to 7, cup of tea, followed by putting the kids to bed. I've really enjoyed this, people. Thank you so much. And I'll tell you something about this, is that this didn't come easy to me, doing these lives. They really didn't when I first started. And I remember people said, oh, do more of them. They didn't come easy to me. And actually, anything that you do doesn't come easy. It takes time, all of it. So even the UK's #1 motivational business speaker says on my website, it does take time, all of it. Sarah, thank you so much. Thank you for everyone who spent time tuning in. Pleasure. Bye. Hopefully see you on the other side of the club. Bye-bye.